I'm not a huge fan of when brands relaunch their true and tested bags for seemingly no reason. I am such a creature of habit when it comes to the bags I use as my carry-on backpacks, and if you've been around on the channel enough, you know this. I have been using my Bagsmart backpack for as long as I've had it. Once you get used to a product, then it's really hard for you to want to navigate away from the product. And so when Bagsmart told me that they had a new and upgraded version of the bag that I am obsessed with and I use on every single one of my trips, I was a little suspicious, mainly because I didn't really know what they could do better. I don't think that something like this needs like a bunch of little trinkets and like speciality kind of features, because if you do that, then not everyone's gonna have the same use for the bag. But I am very happy to report that they did indeed do changes that actually matter. And so I'm very excited to show you guys what I look for in a bag to make it the best carry-on backpack you can, especially if you like traveling with low-cost airlines who are notoriously after your money at the gate, trying to make sure that your bag doesn't fit. The video is meant to just show you what to look for in a backpack that'll make it really, really useful for these carry-on only trips, okay? So feel free to check out the bag if you're interested in this specific one. I have a link down below with a discount code. It's also on sale right now, but this should help you just choose your next backpack for your next trip. So with that, let's get right into it. So the first thing that's really important for you to look for in a carry-on only backpack is space, and specifically compressible space, okay? So you want to have a bag that's going to work in your favor and not against you. What I mean by this is most carriers, bag checkers, they're in the shape of a rectangle, right? So you want a bag like this one that's gonna automatically arrange your things in here to fit that kind of model of a bag checker. So you'll notice that this bag has the shape of a rectangle. Not only that, there's the clips on the side here to help you compress the bag once it's fully packed. So this is really going to work in your favor when you're looking for a carry-on only backpack.
Another feature that's new in this bag is that it's now expandable up to 36%, and the way that you do that is you take this neat zip over here and basically unzip it. So if you need any extra space during your trip, then your bag is able to get a little bit bigger and accommodate that. So I genuinely try to keep the bag as small as possible, again, because of those testers, but it's just good to have the option in case you want to buy some souvenirs or just come back with more stuff than you left with.
My next tip for finding a good carry-on only bag is to make sure that you're choosing a material that's going to last you a long, long time. Especially because if you are anything like me, you're going to be shoving this bag under the seats of airplanes, overhead compartments, dragging it all over airports and security trays and all kind of stuff. And so you don't want to have to worry about how dirty the bag is going to get, how long the bag is going to last you, especially if you're going to be investing in something that you want to last you a long time, right? That was one of my biggest fears in the beginning. If you've seen my other video, I've leave the card up here. You know that I picked the beige one, and I think the number one question I get is whether or not it gets dirty, and the answer is yes, it does get dirty, but it is very, very easy to clean. And the trick to this is to making sure that you choose a bag like this one that has water resistant material as kind of the main component of the bag. This way, anytime that I get like a darker stain on my beige bag, I take some water or some dishwasher soap, I just spot treat it and it comes out basically instantly. I pretty much use like baby wipes, you know, like the wet wipes, and that's all I need. And it's never gotten scuffed. It's just the material. It's that like thick plasticky material, and it's different than traveling with a cloth bag. Obviously, it just is more resistant. It's gonna last you longer. And it's also really convenient to have a bag that's waterproof for obvious reasons. You know, if you're at your destination, it starts raining, you don't want everything that you've traveled with to get wet. The next tip is definitely to look for comfort. This bag is gonna get heavy. It's gonna be on your back a lot. It's maybe gonna make you sweaty when you're traveling in hot climates. So you're gonna wanna look for a bag that has this kind of mesh. How this bag has like this little mesh thing? Yeah, this makes it so that the bag is breathable when it's on your back. It's not gonna create a layer that's gonna make you sweaty. This was not an upgrade, it already existed in the previous bag, but I like that they kept it. And then you're gonna wanna look for straps that are not only adjustable, but specifically that have this chest strap. These bags are too short to be using the normal kind of waist straps to distribute weight, but you can still distribute weight by having chest straps. And this is something that they made sure to incorporate, so when you put it on, you can just put this in. It's also nice because it makes the bag harder to steal, which is something to take into consideration, depending on where you're going. But yeah, you definitely want a bag that's going to be comfortable. A nice perk also is having this little strap right here. Do you see it? It's harder to see because the bag is black, but do you see the strap here? Yeah. This strap allows you to put your bag on your wheelie suitcase. You can put this on the hand straps and just have it off your back. So again, you want to be looking for that comfort factor just to take the weight off of you as much as you can whenever you can. Now we can move to my favorite part, which is the packing compartments of the bag and what to look for. Basically two teams when it comes to carry-on traveling, team packing cube and team no packing cube. I am a member of both because there's a situation for everything. And I will say, in this bag specifically, I actually prefer not using packing cubes. And I'm gonna show you why in the main compartment. I think you'll understand. But packing cubes are great for me for two situations. When you're sharing a bag with somebody, like when I'm going with my husband, for example, or when you have a bag that doesn't have compartments or doesn't like organize itself. This particular bag, it does a very good job at having built-in compartments you can adjust, the fact that you can compress the bag. So I actually don't recommend using packing cubes in this particular bag. I have their packing cubes, it's these ones, I love them. I use them all the time in my carry-on luggages. There is a situation in which I have used packing cubes in this bag. It is when my husband and I shared this bag when we did 24 hours in Malta. I will leave the video card up here if you want to see that. And it was just to separate our stuff, made it a little bit easier when we got to the hotel. But yeah, let's take a look. The first thing you'll notice when I open this bag is this wet dry compartment. This compartment is good for many reasons. The other bag already had it, so this isn't an upgrade, but it's especially nice for you to put liquids. Whether or not you're going to be allowed to move through the airport with just using this as your liquid pouch is going to depend completely on the airport. Most airports have not had a problem with it. An easy work around that is to just put your Ziploc bag in here. However, I love the added security that if something were to open and burst in my Ziploc bag, I would not have all my stuff wet, right? Because it's still in this wet dry compartment. So you can either pack your essentials right in here or take a Ziploc. Just for extra security, take the Ziploc. Being able to protect your stuff in here, super important, because if you're only traveling with one bag and everything you have gets wet, you're gonna have a problem at your destination, especially if it's winter and things are hard to dry. Upgrade from the previous version of this bag to this bag, for me at least, so my favorite upgrade is that they have now included this built-in compartment. So if you've seen the other video, you will know that these bags come with this kind of, they're called shoe pouches. I never use them for shoes. So what they are is it's a compartment at the end. It opens like this, right? And you can put shoes in here and it'll separate the shoes from your clothes. What I use this for actually is laundry. So I will get to my destination, I'll be taking my clothes from here, and as I'm using them, as they're getting dirty, I'm putting them into here. So it's both nice because I don't have to take a laundry bag, but also because things don't get smelly since these have little air holes, a little vent. So yeah, it makes it easier for me to separate clean clothes from dirty clothes. Now, however, they have this neat new compartment, which you can use in two different ways. I'm going to show you. You have like two levels that you can strap it in. This is level 1. There's this strap on this side and this strap on this side. And this is level 2, strap on this side, strap on this side. So this works as a divider for the bag. You can either structure it like this. So you would put the little clip in this hole. You put the little clip on this side, in this hole, and now you have a division between this side of the bag, like tuck that away, this side of the bag and this side of the bag, or you can, I think this is about the middle, I would say, or you can put it here and just have a smaller compartment right here and a bigger compartment. I would just use it to separate my tops from my pants, for example, something fun like that. So choosing a bag that's going to make compartmentalizing things easier is going to be key in order for you to find a good carry-on only travel backpack. They've also adapted the bag to work with this new compartment feature, right? So you have compression straps, those kinds that they put in suitcases, you know, you have them on both sides. So no matter how you structure your bag, you're always going to be able to compress your clothes. Last thing you're going to want to look for in a bag like this for a good carry-on bag is to make sure that the way that it opens makes sense for the way you're going to be using it. So let's say, for instance, that you're traveling somewhere for work over a short 2-3 period day, right? You're going to want to be able to take your clothes out. You're also going to want to be able to access your computer easily, especially if you're going to be using those dead moments at the airport and stuff to work. So something that the other bag already had that the new bag respected is the ability to open the back where my computer, my electronics would be, very differently and very separately from the way that my clothes would open. So the clothes section opens in this clamshell format, almost like a traditional suitcase. and the electronics part opens all the way like this. This is super, super convenient. Again, if I'm sitting at a airport waiting lounge, something like that, I'm able to open this up. It has two compartments, one for something smaller like an iPad or a Kindle, and then one for a laptop. I believe this fits up to a 16-inch laptop. It's up to 15.6-inch laptop, so most laptops will fit in here. Has a nice strap to make sure that when you open this, the things you have in here are not going to fly out, right? So because it opens nice and big, this could be a fall risk, but with this strap in place, then your computer, your iPad, they won't fall off. Something that is a bit of a new feature is that they changed the way that this bag was structured in the back, and they did something that I really appreciate, and I think you guys will too, which is they created a top pocket for chargers and cables. I don't like having to dig super deep in my bag for chargers and cables, especially if I'm wanting to charge my phone really quickly at an airport, right? So they made it purposely so that this pocket stops here and things don't go beyond here, right? So if you're looking for your charger or a pen or whatever it is you might need to have easy access to, then it's not just going to fall into the endless abyss. It's going to be here, easy for you to grab. You're going to have everything very tightly packed, right? So if when you dig out your computer, it's going to drag out all those clothes, you're going to be dealing with having to shove your clothes back into your backpack in the middle of the airport. It's just not handy. So that's something you want to look for. Something else that's really important that you want to look for is security features. You want to choose a bag that's going to kind of protect you as much as possible. So this bag does that in several ways. The newest way, which is an upgrade I'm very excited for, is the fact that on the computer side of the bag, they've made the zippers lockable. There's this neat little hole here now that allows you to put one of those small locks. And what this lock is going to do is just make it really hard for somebody to do this and pick out your laptop, especially in somewhere like a metro. It's obviously not going to keep people from stealing your bag off of you, but at least it'll make it harder for them to open this compartment, which is notoriously where you'd have your most expensive things. And this is something you can keep in mind as well when you're packing the bag, is to put things that you don't want stolen in this pouch so that you can lock it a little bit better. Then we have like traditional safety features like this secret pouch. This pouch right here is where I would put something like my passport or my wallet, for example, because it's always going to be against your back. So it's very hard for anyone to get their hand in there and steal anything from you. When you are going to be traveling anywhere that's busy, that has public transportation, that gets really packed, you want to make sure that the bag you picked has an RFID safe pocket. What is this? It's basically a mechanism that blocks people from being able to use these readers to scan your cards, like your credit cards, all of that stuff. And this bag has that. So if you see here, this compartment has a little tag. It says RFID blocking, and anything that you put in this particular pocket, it even has like a shiny gold inner layer, right? Will be safe. And so they've created even these card compartments right there, so you can put cards in here. So I highly recommend having a pocket of the sort. As always, really good to have in a bag a very large pouch for a water bottle, particularly something that will expand. You can also use this for something like an umbrella if you wanted to, but I don't travel without my water bottle, so for me it's extremely important to have a solid water bottle pouch. Still along the lines of having a bag that's going to work in your favor in different phases of your trip, so airport, destination, work, etc. Is this top pouch. It's not new, but it's something I love, so let's explore it a little bit. It's got all these different mesh compartments, and then it's got a little zip. Why do I like this pouch so much, even though it's not that big of a space? Because this is going to be the part of the bag that's facing you when you're in the airplane. So if you put this under the seat in front of you, right, this is going to be what's facing you. And again, if you travel in those lower cost airlines, you basically have no leg space. So picture this, at least for my husband. You just got into your seat, you're sitting down, you put your bag underneath the chair in front of you, and then you realize you didn't take out your AirPods and you wanted to listen to music during takeoff. Now you're gonna have to pull the bag all the way back up, open all those compartments, look and shove things around for your AirPods. Not very handy, and especially you won't have space for that in those lower cost airlines. And so it's really nice to have the kind of bag that you barely even have to take out from under the chair. Open this pouch right here, take things out. Because it has a zip, when you open it, it's not gonna fall out, right? So if you wanted to have your AirPods here, they'd be safe and sound here. You just close that. I'm also a fan of keeping my Kindle in here. It doesn't look like it would fit a Kindle, but it does fit a Kindle. you're choosing a bag, make sure that you're keeping that in the back of your mind. I hope this video was helpful to you and you learned a little bit more about what to look for in a bag when you're traveling carry-on only. If you're interested in this particular bag, of course, you can find all the information down in my description box. It is on sale right now and you can use my code on it as well. I was very skeptical that they were going to be able to improve an already very good product, and especially that compartment divider in the bag is going to be a game changer, especially because you can just flatten it out and not use it at all. So it adds something without taking away anything else that I previously already really liked. Same with the ability to expand it. If I don't want to expand it, I just keep it nice and zipped. I love that they added features without ruining the functionality of the bag that I already loved. If you have any questions about this or light travel, anything like that, leave me a comment down below. I answer all of my comments. Make sure to subscribe and join my little travel minimalism channel if you haven't already. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!